Mm. It's always hit or miss.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's been a tough pandemic. No.
14.
Answer is no, Chelsea.
No,
Well,
we cannot hear you.
your presence is felt.
Yes. We have one of my current players right now. Her name is Gina.
Yeah, of course. I'm waiting for Gina to turn her camera back on.
Yeah, Gina was on just a minute ago.
Yeah.
There she is.
Hello, Gina.
Hello, how are you?
Doing good, doing good.
Gina is well, of course we missed everyone has missed the season, so we've missed the season as well. So this will be your third year going into, right? Correct? Or yeah, third year, and this is her third and final year. And she's our senior. She went from rookie to sophomore to senior within 3 years with missing one. So she's one of our senior players. And Amalia is one that's coming on our team for next year.
Whoa. We didn't make this announcement yet, Coach. You're breaking news.
My apologies.
You're breaking news. Right now.
My apologies. Well, I'll let Amalia talk to that. Amalia talked to that one. But yeah, she's one on our list of future Huskies. So she'll break out. We'll give her the whole shebang later on down the road as we get closer to as she gets closer to finishing her school year. But she'll be one that you'll see in the blue and white as of 2020-21. So,
I guess since the news broke, we can give her the official the unofficial party. Yay! The round. I like it. Hey, so I guess this is that's the unofficial announcement.
The unofficial announcement.
Super good there. I mean, it tipped it off when your screensaver was the little Husky screensaver. I'm like, okay, Amalia, I see what's going on here.
So last Sunday we had we had three seniors that are finishing this year. Victoria, Coco, and Rachel. Three of our starters from our last year's team. 2019 to 2020 season. So we had a little seniors night over Zoom. So if you saw when they came in, they had the three cut screens of the three players, like Gina's and Amalia had it. We were just celebrating the way we can for the time being, right? So they're off to doing big things, and I'll explain a little bit of what they're doing now. I'll explain a little bit what they're doing now later on down of our conversation. Not right now, but yeah, I'll give you a little hints in what they're doing and where they're going, and then as we talk and we get better and we get further down our conversation. Our last person from George Brown is known as the daughter of Coach Kareem.
Oh.
She is our all rookie. She was on our all rookie team in 2019 and 2020 season, right? She was named all rookie OCAA all rookie team, and she'll be, gracing the presence and scoring a bunch of buckets next year as well too. Hope as again George Brown Husky. If Kiana she's there. I think she's there, but she's at her what's it called, signing picture on here.
Yep, I'm here.
She's there. So she has her signing picture on. But
is that the signing picture?
Yeah, that was when she came. We got her picture with you and the family.
Yes.
She's getting signed to George Brown. But she's another again coming on, and hopefully we get to where we were last year. All right. I think there's a couple other players are coming online as well too, but as of I can't make anyone run, so they're late. I can't make anyone run, so that's why they're late today. So when I get back in the gym, those who are late, we're gonna be running. So Amalia, I get used to it.
Yeah, well,
so be there on time.
I think we're on my side. We're still waiting for a few more E's too, as well. I don't know. I check my phone. Usually I have messages at this time, but I know our Coach Roberto, who's also on our coaching staff. There you are. You're that square. Okay, and if Coach Roberto's here, that means Sophia is somewhere close by.
Nice.
Somewhere trailing behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had some issues with the internet access, but we just fixed it. So she should be logging in a second. Sorry.
Perfect. Perfect. I'll introduce you, Coach, and Gina and Kiana. I'll just introduce you to a couple other people on the call. We didn't get to Jasmine Lewis. Speaking of round of applause of announcement, she was our first signee. Laurentian University, starting in September. Going in as a center, 6-foot center, big press release and everything. The Simcoe newspaper. I read the Simcoe newspaper article, Jasmine. It was quite nice. You even shouted us out. They mentioned she still trains with her team 3 times a week. I was like, yes.
I had to shout you guys out.
Big ups. So, Coach, that's Jasmine Lewis.
Yeah, I saw. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I saw her. Good job.
I think the only person on this call who I haven't said hi to. Hi, Raha. Raha, you all right?
Yes, hi, I'm just eating, so I'll just finish up.
Yeah, she's going to finish up, and then we'll get to see Raha's face. And, Coach, I'm pretty sure when you see Raha, if you don't know her by name, you'll know her by face for sure. She's played SBA for the last 3 years. Played for myself 1 year. Played Jewel another year. So I'm pretty sure you know Raha today.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. And I think we have most. There we go. There's Sophia. There's Sophia. Sophia, how you doing?
I'm good, Coach. How are you? Sorry for being late. We had some Wi-Fi issues.
I heard. Omari, Gina, Kiana, that's and everybody else who hasn't met Sophia. That's Sophia. She would be playing some sort of guard for us. Grade 11. Daughter of Coach Roberto. What else am I missing, Sophia, in your introduction? Computer programmer.
Nice.
Something more. Aerospace engineer, something along those lines. Something that I'm not doing. It's too hard for me. And so Sophia, everybody, Sophia, and I think and Coach Nancy just jumped on, right? So last introduction.
Nice.
Coach Nancy Pabon, also part of the coaching staff of SBA U19 Women. And Coach Omari, of course, you know Coach Nancy, and Gina Kiana, that's Coach Nancy as well.
Yeah, she's going to she was attending a school that we play all the time, and we beat all the time. So I told her that we're gonna have to put a George Brown Husky T-shirt on her as she goes to Seneca College, and does her programs there.
I know all about these companies. All right, well, Coach, I'll get started. So obviously, Coach, you've met everybody, and for those who may be unfamiliar with our special guest, this is the newest head coach of the George Brown Huskies women's basketball program, Coach Omari Wiltshire. Although I would have to say, I often feel silly when I introduce you, because most people in the city already know you, right? Most people in the city already know this coach, including everybody now on this call who may not have known him before, right? You were SBA. I mean, by the time I got here, you were SBA for sure. So I don't know how many years that is.
It's a long time.
Long time.
If you know I can say, who's on Kelly Olynyk. I didn't coach him, but it was at a clinic when he was younger.
Oh, you're going back that far.
Yeah, that's how far it was.
Okay. So like I said, you were here when I got here. So I just work with the junior NBA. So, if players don't know you from SBA, of course, they're going to see you from your work with the junior NBA. Obviously, we mentioned George Brown and lots of others. What people they probably know this as well. But I think one of your main motivations, this is obviously very clear, is helping others, right? Players and coaches alike. This is a huge motivation for Coach Omari, for those who may never met. And obviously, we know that you coach some players at the highest levels in our city, with George Brown being a premier program in our city. We had somebody else join. Sorry, I don't know. Is this a George Brown Husky?
Yes, she is.
Hi, my name's Genevieve. Yeah, I'm George Brown Husky.
Okay. Hi, Genevieve.
Yes.
Thanks for joining the call.
Yes, Geneva is.
Thank you.
I'll get a little bit more into depth with Geneva as we go along, but Geneva is a rookie from last year's team. We again didn't get hasn't even actually has graced Casaloma campus, but has not graced the gym yet. So
Not yet. Yeah.
not yet. So she hasn't
Sadly.
touched. Sadly, but she's one of our new founded sharpshooters from the 3-point line, and she's itching to shoot the ball. We'll just say that.
Yeah, I'm excited for next season. So
Genevieve, you kind of came on at the perfect time because I was mentioning the coach coaches some of the highest level players in our city.
Yeah.
But at the same time, at the very same time, literally simultaneously, you're working with development players, young development athletes literally at the same time, right? We were in practices when you're coming from practice with George Brown, with some of the U13 girls and whatnot. So maybe some of you don't know that, or maybe you know that as well. The key is, I mean, coach, you're a known entity. I would say, so then the question is, why would I bring you on for our finale, right? If everybody already knows you, I like to bring on coaches to introduce them to people. Well, obviously, number one, to speak specifically about George Brown, right? And what's happening at George Brown historically and this season upcoming, as well as opportunities. But I think obviously why I brought you on as well is because you're an individual that exudes and demonstrates passion, right? You exude it and you demonstrate it. It's clear and it's even more clear. And everybody here on this call, coaches and players alike, also have a very, very, very strong passion for basketball. Why? Because you're here. Nobody has to be here. We haven't done this, and we haven't been on the court in 18 months. There's very little motivation, but yet you're all here, right? So there's definitely a match there. So I think that this would be a perfect way to end our series of talks. We've been doing this as a series of talks. And that way we can kind of all be reminded as well as we all have a why, a very strong why in terms of why we do this. So nobody better to speak to in terms of that than Coach Omari Wiltshire. Coach, I throw to you.
All right, thank you, Kareem. Again, your words are too kind. I try my best to do what I can for any athlete that I come across my path, and I was very fortunate to be able to work with a lot of entities in Ontario and within Canada, some big names as well too, to help provide opportunity and passion. As he said before, one thing I really want to get across is I want to help as many athletes as I can. I'm very biased. I love the women's basketball game. I think you guys are amazing, and it's an amazing game to watch, an amazing game to coach, and an amazing game to see you guys get and adapt to. Women's basketball is keeps going up, and every year it gets better and better each year, and I get more and more addicted to watching it and coaching it. I've only coached one men's team, other than a house league. I've only coached one team, and that was like a U17 team. I mean U14 team, sorry. And that was when I was way, way back when I was younger. But ever since then, I've been coaching only women's basketball, and I think, especially having a daughter as well too. She's not as interested in basketball as yet. She's doing a lot of other things, and when I say, "Hey, come play basketball," she's like, "I'm gonna go over here," right? But she will, as she gets in the gym and gets around you ladies, and depending on which gym I go to, she's always wants to jump in and try to do her best and probably play against. If she sees you one day, she might probably play against you guys. But other than that, I want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity, even if it's not playing for me, it's getting you to play somewhere else that you can get better at, and making sure that you find the best fit that fits you at the end of the day. Lastly, one thing I'll say about myself is that I am very, how can I say it that makes sense? I love it. I love this game. My first passion was track and field. I did track and field for a long period of time. And then, once I figured that, I'm good at it, but I'm not. I really like the team aspect because track and field is a lot of individual. If you don't do it, no one else is doing it for you, right? You can't pass the track cleat to someone else. Say, you run for me. I gotta run. So I really like the team aspect, so I started playing basketball. I found that team aspect was really one thing I really loved doing. I really loved being a part of, and then that was the switch. That was the love, and then I able to play basketball to a high enough level, and then I able to coach even higher than that. Right after my basketball season, after the basketball stopped dribbling for me, I decided let's do coaching and let's find other ways to keep within the game, and which brought me here today. I finally got head coaching job with George Brown after being with George Brown for 3 years. 1 year, the school before that, I was with San Diego College with the women's basketball team as well too, as assistant coach, and I did that for free for 3 years, and it was really a really good experience, and it got me to the level of what I really wanted to do, and now I'm here. All right. That being said, it is not I do talk a lot, and I'm trying to switch that. I know my players know that. Last year, they go like this to me every time. I had people like give me eyes in the back and saying, "Coach, you're talking too much." So I'm not going to talk too much, but I'm going to throw it to you guys at times from here and there throughout this conversation. So the first thing I want you to do is a little breaker. I know some of you guys are by yourself, and that's totally fine. But if you're not by yourself, if you're your parent, here's what I want you to do. I want you to play rock, paper, scissors with your parent or with someone that's in the screen. So if you're by yourself, Sophia and Victoria, you guys are facing each other. Micah and Jasmine, you're going to face each other. Gina and Genevieve, you're going to face each other. So look at your screen. And those who have those screens on, oh, there we go.
Turn them on.
Ava, you'll face Coach Kareem.
All right.
Oh.
Chelsea, what are you going to do? Chelsea,
All
can
right.
your screen go?
All right, this is how it's going to work. You're going to go rock, paper, scissors, but this is how you're going to do it. You're not going to go like this. You're going to do it this way. So this is scissors, okay? This is paper, all right? And this is rock, okay? So you're going to face each other and do this. You have best of 3. So you have best of 3. So you got to win 2 to win, all right? Whoever wins, the other person has to, if you're by yourself, you have to give yourself 5 push-ups.
Oh my God.
And if you're not by yourself, if you have someone beside you, you have to sing I'm a Little Teapot with the actions as well too. All right? Here you go.
Right.
So if you're by yourself, you got 5 push-ups. If someone's right beside you, the loser has to do I'm a Little Teapot with the actions. Make sure the actions are in the camera so we can see. All right. Face your person or face the screen. When I say go, the game is on. The losers, again, someone must always lose. Make sure you do what you're supposed to be doing. And the winners, always encourage the losers by giving them a round of applause and cheering them on. All right, here we go.
Is it best 2 out of 3?
Best 2 out of 3. Ready, set, game is on. Go. Let's see.
Okay, do we like go 1, 2, 3 and then go?
Yeah, so when you're on your screen, just go put your hands together. 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, crap.
Okay, got it. Ready?
Piper, did you win? No? Uh-oh. Let's see it. If you haven't won, get it started. Sing to your mom. I gotta see the actions. Uh-huh. Okay, Bob's got it. I see Bob. I see that teapot. And pour me out. Good job. All right, give yourselves a round of applause. Good job. Good job, everyone. Great job. Great job. Great job. Right? Oh,
Fun.
I saw it. Mario, you won. Good job. All right.
I'm pretty sure I won. Pretty
Ava.
sure
I was so confused.
it was very confusing.
It's very confusing. It's okay. So
I
if
feel
you guys
like I
don't,
won.
so if you don't know if you won, you both owe you. How it works for me is if you don't know who won, you both lost. So you both owe yourself 5 push-ups. That's how it works. There's no. If you can't find a winner, there's no ties in basketball. You're both losers. So you got to go down.
That's right.
I'll let you hold the 5 push-ups later on. All right, Gina's getting those 5. All right, hold on. Let's
Yeah,
get
I'm
Gina.
going
Let's
outside.
count it.
Ava, you could do sit-ups though. I'm going down.
Okay, Gina.
Going down.
Nice. Okay, Genev. All right. Okay, coach. Look at the weights in the back. Oh, muscle guy. Look at this guy. I need to be like you, coach.
Yeah, thank you.
Like you, coach. All right. My last thing I'll ask you to do is this. In the chat box, I'm gonna open my chat box really as big as I can here. All right. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to type one word that describes you. One word that describes you. You have 10 seconds to type as many words as you can. Ready, set, go. You have 10 seconds to type one word that describes you. Gina's upbeat. Roberto's loud. Kareem's relentless. Creative. I love Micah's creative. Fearless. Optimistic. Keep putting in words. Let's go. Kind. Strong. Good. Keep on putting words. Yeah. Independent. Nice. Loving. Kind. All right. Relentless. 5, 4, 3, 2, time. All right. Freeze. I love these words. These are some good words. Second thing I'm gonna ask you to do is write something about your basketball. Something that a word that describes you and your basketball, how you play as a player, how you are as a player. Ready? Go. 10 seconds. Determined. Defensive. The love of my life. I like that, Kiana. Energy. Positive. Hustle. Linda. Good. Hustle. Gritty. I like it. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, scrappy. 1, time. All right. Perfect. And my last thing is what motivates you to play. What motivates you to play? Go. 10 seconds. Fun. It's drive. It's fun. The dream. I like that. The dream. The end goal. The competition. My health. Winning. Winning is key to basketball. But doing your best is key as well too. Commitment. Team. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. All right. Great. See, all these things, all these words, all these things about yourself, all the things you think about, how it drives you in the game of basketball, all the things that make you who you are, is things that coaches are looking for, right? And these are the words that most coaches are going to say to you when they're trying to recruit you. This is what their culture is building. This is what they want, right? They want you to be driven. They want you to be competitive. They want you to have want you to be in the top peak of your health. You know, you want to hear your dream. You want to see your drive. Basketball, as Coach Kareem told you, I'm a very passionate guy, and these words drove me to where I wanted to be. A lot of people are going to tell you, and a lot of people are going to tell you that this dream maybe not be the dream for you. You know, maybe you go to a time where you're at practice where you go to a funk where you're like, I'm not shooting well. You know, I don't know, I'm making the wrong decision. I have an injury. I got something else. These words, these things that you're saying to yourself that you just put on the screen is something that you should remember all the time, right? Every day, every time you pick up a ball, every time you're at practice, every time you are in a spot where you're doubting yourself, remember these words that you guys written down. And this is what's going to help you, again, 100% land a spot on a roster somewhere in Canada or in the States if you decide to go that far, or even land you in a semi-professional or professional league that you want to be in the long run. All right, so I want you to remember these things. I want you to write these down. So any letters that you put down, I want you to write them down, and I want you to put them on your wall. Visualization is the most powerful thing. If you put it on your wall and you can see it each day as you wake up in the morning, you will become those things, right? And so it reminds you of what you want to become. All right? That being said, let's move forward and what we're going to talk about today. So I have a few things that I want to end your recruitment calls in, and I'm going to take a little different approach to them. All right. I'm going to talk to you about things that, sometimes you don't think about when you're trying to be recruited or someone is recruiting you. That you should be thinking about if you're, I believe some of you, if your hands up, who's playing U14 or U15 next year? Is everyone around 16, 17, 15? So Piper's 15, right? Zara? 15 or so? You can say yes.
Next year I'll be playing U16.
U16. So you're getting around the 15, 16, 17 age group. And this is where you want to make sure you start making your decisions, right? Start getting those decisions really solid and confirmed. So when you get to that spot where when a coach is actually recruiting you and they're asking you these questions, that you can tell them and be very confident in what you're saying. Or when you're trying to be recruited, these are things that you want to sell yourself as, right? Things that you want to tell the coach, hey, this is what I do. This is what I commit to. This is who I am as a basketball player, as a person, and this is where I want to go with my basketball at the end of the day. All right. So 3 things I want to focus on are, our programs, so what you should be getting into, what you want to get into, which is your programs and stuff. I'll give you some little insights on things that I've been experiencing as recruiting kids like you guys, U17, after the U17 mark and going out of high school. Next thing is I want to talk to you about what they want, what coaches want, the little part of what coaches really do want and what they're looking for as the season goes, as the recruiting season goes by. And then again, next thing I'll say is what you bring to the table, right? Ask you things that what you bring to the table and to get a little bit more detail on why it's important that you talk about what you bring to the table, which could help you land a spot on the team or a roster. All right. So first thing first, I'm going to share my screen. If you see my screen, let's see, where is it? Here it is. There's no sounds or anything, so you don't have to worry about video. If you see my screen, just give me a thumbs up. Perfect. Let's move this. Here we go. Everyone can see that too? Thumbs up if you can see it. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about, of course, George Brown, and also some stuff. Some coaches' keys that can help you as well too. I like seeing people, but I can't see and do the same thing. So we'll work on that together. All right. So first things first, I'm going to talk a little bit about George Brown as I go throughout the PowerPoint presentation, and also ask you some questions as well too. I'll go back to the chat and you'll type in some stuff that I want to see if you to see where you're at with your basketball, where you're at with your knowledge. All right. So the first thing is, as you know, George Brown. George Brown is in Toronto, of course, downtown Toronto, the heart of Toronto. Where the E Center and where Drake goes to and walks down the street all the time. That's where we're at. Near the Blue Jays. Our teams. You all been in Toronto, so you all understand where we're at. We have a few campuses in George Brown. We have 3 big campuses. Our first campus is St. James campus. All right, that's downtown or King. That's near King. That's near Eden Center. That's King St. James campus has mostly of our business courses and stuff like that. Business courses, culinary courses. What else is there? Our sports marketing courses that run out of that campus. Our next campus is our Casaloma campus. This is more of our trades campus. So Genevieve goes to this campus. She does fashion at this campus. And later on, I'll give a little bit. I'll introduce our players, and they'll talk a little bit about themselves and their time at George Brown as well too, and how they got recruited as well. But Casaloma is more of our trades. So construction, fashion, IT, stuff like that. Happens at Casaloma, and this is our home base. This is where we play most of our games as well too. And then Waterfront has a lot of the dental hygienist courses and science courses that are engineering courses that are up there. I believe Gina, if she can take off her mic right now, unmute herself. Gina, which campus are you at? I believe you're at. Sorry?
I'm at Sunnybrook. So we're affiliated. My home campus is technically Waterfront, but all of my courses and all of my schooling, all my classes are all at Sunnybrook Hospital in North York.
Nice. And Gina, while we're here, can you tell us what you're doing at George Brown right now?
So this year I got into the orthotics and prosthetics clinical methods program. So I'm learning how to fit people with different kind of orthotic braces and prosthetic limbs.
Yes. And Gina is one of the players that was, as talk about recruiting, she was actually a walk-on player. She came to our tryout and she impressed us as a player coming from a university as well too. And she actually changed her course from a university to college, and she changed her whole life around and what she's doing right now. And she presses so well, and she'll talk a little bit about how she, what she thought about walking on and what she brought to what she thought she brought to the table in that walk-on tryout. And I'll tell her about what we saw in her and how she became a George Brown Husky as well too. All right. So as I said before, research your programs with a whoa, I can't even spell it. I didn't realize I had a mistake here. Wow, it's terrible. With applying for school. All right. So when you're applying for school, okay. Let me go back. I'm working on this PowerPoint stuff again. When you're applying for school, there's a couple things you want to do first. Let's go back to this first. I'm gonna ask you a question. So in your group chat, and Coach Kareem, I know you can see the group chat. I can't see it because of the presentation, but I want you to type in a few programs or careers that you're thinking about doing right now. So each person type in at least two careers. You have 5 seconds to type it in, and Coach Kareem will tell me what those programs are. Oh, I can't see it. Sorry.
You can see
Social work. Yeah, I can see that. Social work, nursing, kinesiology, computer science, engineering. Good. See, the one thing I find about with women's basketball is that, and you have 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, anyone, 2, 1. Nice. All right, stop. What I find with women's basketball, especially when recruiting athletes, is that you guys are very sure what you guys want to do. Right? You guys are very sure. You guys are very direct in the programs you want to get into, and which is really good for coaches out, especially when coaches are trying to recruit you, or you're trying to recruit them, or you're trying to be on that roster, is to always make sure that you understand what you want to do. Now, the thing that I would say to everyone, and this is a tidbit that you might have to put in your pocket, is that the courses that you chose right here have a secondary backup. Because sometimes what happens in some universities and colleges is that sometimes either the course is not the specific course that you're looking for. So it might say kinesiology, but it's not the really kinesiology course that connects to a university or college, because colleges has a lot of 1-year, 2-year courses, post-grad courses that are that differ between colleges. But always have a secondary course or career that you think you want to get into. Or have a secondary, have something that if push comes to shove, that if I can't, so for instance, when Kiana started coming to George Brown, she wanted to get into a certain program with psychology. But at the time, psychology courses filled up really quickly, right? And also, their grade average has to be changes at the start, and it changes as it goes along, as the years go down, as the time goes into getting to her first day. So what she had to do was pick another course that she was interested in. So when the time to intake came around in January, she could get into that course, but she could still play basketball. So it's always a good idea to have a secondary thought or a secondary course that you think that you want to, are interested in, to get yourself into. So if that case, the intake doesn't happen, you can get into that course. The second thing you want to do is sometimes the course changes. Like Gina. Gina didn't want to do her first course. Gina, unmute yourself. What was your first course?
My first course is kinesiology.
So
Yeah.
her first was kinesiology, and she's like, no, kinesiology wasn't what I wanted to do, and she did it at what's called Waterloo, correct?
UW. Yeah.
UW.
Yep.
Yeah, at UW. Sorry, Gina. Sorry. Yeah, at UW. So, as a course goes on in your life, sometimes you might want to change it. So it's easy to have. So it's a great way to prepare yourself for the long run if you have another one that you think about, you want to do, or you're interested in, right? And one thing I tell about with athletes your age and down is to start writing out a list of things. So I always tell them to write 10 courses that you think, or 10 careers that you think you want to get into. Just write 10 of them down. And once you write 10, every 3 months or every year, look at that list and see and cross out. Maybe you want to cross out one. I don't really like kinesiology this year. I thought I liked it, but I saw this injury that I didn't want to get any part of. So let me not do that anymore. I'm going to cross that out, and I'm going to put in, I want to be a firefighter instead, because, I saw there's a fire down the street, and they got up there and they did their job, and I want to be just like them, right? So you want to put that one in, right? You want to narrow it down. So it's time to be recruited. You have an idea of what you want to get into. So when the coach goes, oh, what program do you want to get into? You go, I saw this program at your school, and I want to be a part of this, and this is my secondary course that I want to be a part as well too. All right, so start planning now and start narrowing it down. And one added thing I'd say is that all high school, you have volunteer time. Now, what you do with that volunteer time is the question. A lot of you guys will go to basketball camps and go, I want to do scorekeeping for 40 hours, and then press a button for 40 hours, and then sign it off, and then walk away and go, I did my 40 hours, I did my community service stuff, and I'm graduating. When you have the time, if you have a chance, cold call some of the places or get into some of the careers that you want to get into. A lot of jobs love volunteer people. They love people that volunteer because it's free labor. So you can go inside there and volunteer and get a sense of what it is you want to get to done. What do you want to do? So when it's time to come to play in the team or play in the school, you can get that done. All right, moving forward. Again, George Brown has, of course, out of most colleges have a 1-year certificate programs or 2-year diploma programs with 3-year advanced, and then some advances are either work into work experience like co-ops or internships where you're 3 years, or you can just get a certificate into one of the programs or fields that you want to get into. Oh, where it is? Let me go back. All right, and then there's other degree programs. Most of the colleges, like Humber, has attachment to Guelph University. Who else is there? Durham College has UNIT. That university is connected to them. A lot of colleges are starting to have commerce courses, which you can get in for 4 years and be attached to a university. So you'll do 2 years college, and then the last 2 years, whatever credits you collect, go to university, and you skip a few years in between that. Really research a lot of players, especially a lot of players are trying to get into these courses because of course you get out faster and you get the hands-on of college first before you get into that university stay. So I know you heard this before with all the other coaches and stuff like that. It's the same. Well, it's the same, but all across the board. But one thing I would say to you all is really research what you're trying to get into. So again, if you're not being recruited right now, if there's no coach talking to you, it is your job to figure out what school you want to get to. So other than narrowing down your college, your course, you got to start looking at colleges that have your course and start narrowing down to say, okay, they have a commerce program that I can get into my 2 years here. Or, okay, if I finish my 1-year certificate or my 2-year diploma, I can do a post-grad in the field of, for example, of sports and event marketing, right? You have to do your research. And the more research you do, and you know, the programs that have your programs in, and you go to talk to that coach, the more interested the coach is to having you on that team, right? Because you know what you want to get into, and that's one of the things that we don't want. I'm saying we don't want to tackle, but we want to make sure that we don't want to. We want to make sure that we understand where you're coming from, so we know how long we're gonna have you for, and and how you're gonna how your GPA or what you're bringing to the table is going to affect our program as well too. All right. So researching, knowing what you want to do is the first and most important part in either when you're getting recruited or trying to get recruited with coaches. All right. Knowing what schools, tracking them down, and finding the program you want to get into. So make sure it's always, and I always say to every player, make sure it's the best fit for you, because at the end of the day, when the basketball stops, it's you that started your career. It's you looking in the mirror and going, okay, it's my turn. It's no one else helping me right now. It's me as an adult now, and I got to move forward. All right. Give me a thumbs up if you got that. Great. All right, let's move on real quick.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah.
Can I interject with a question just about
Yes.
courses and whatnot?
No problem.
Just curious, what two or three academic programs is George Brown best known for? Is there anything specific that George Brown is well known for?
Yes, we are very known for our culinary programs. Yeah, so going to if you're at St. James, they built a multi-million-dollar additional building for all culinary courses, from baking cuisine to high end, and a lot of things in between. And the second thing we're major for is our business and nursing courses. So a lot of RNs come through George Brown. I know on our team right now we have 4 players that are doing the registered nursing course, or trying to get in. One, she was going to be here today. Her name's Taurine. She's already in it. So it's 2 years with us and 2 years with Ryerson University, which is connected with, and a few others that are coming in. And then our business courses, which is business administration and our trades courses as well too. So like Casa Loma, our welding, our plumbing, our construction. There's a year course there that you can take gives you an experience of all 4. So plumbing, electrician, welding, and carpentry. You do that for a year. You get to choose what you want at the end and go into that course as well too. All right, but those are some of the few. I'll provide Coach Kareem with our program finder, or you can just find it online as well too. It's not that hard to find, and you can collect and see what courses we have there. Okay.
Coach, I had a follow-up
Yeah.
to the courses question. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So now on the flip side, and you hear this at some schools, are there any courses at George Brown that conflict with basketball program? So let's say the course is on the other side of town, or because of labs or something, and it conflicts with the time that you normally have practices. Are there any courses, would you say, if you're doing this course, it'll be tough to be on the basketball team?
Okay, so I'll answer that question, but I'll give you someone that experienced that. So Gina is one. Gina's the only one on this call that has experienced it. So Gina, can you give a little insight on how that works?
If so I'm at North York, so it takes me like an hour, 45 minutes to bus down for practice. And usually my courses go 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Practice starts at 6. I have an hour to get there. You just do it. If you love it, you do it. And it's really, and some nights I can't make it. And I tell Coach Omari, you just constant communication about, okay, I'm not going to be here this time, or I'm going to be a little bit late because my course is happening. And then because my course is running late, or TTC is down. That has happened multiple times. And the coaching staff is very understanding of kind of if you're late because TTC is down, because you can't do anything about it. But they've been great working with me and kind of accommodating my schedule, but also I have to put in the work to tell them, yes, I'm not just kind of flaking. I'm not here right now because of this, and this reason. And I think most places will be, especially kind of George Brown. They've been really great with that. So it's kind of tough, but you get through it.
Yes, and as I said before, as Gina said it 100%. Like, so how it works in college is that our course is not like a little bit different than university. University, sometimes you're able to, well, if you have practice at 6:00 p.m., you're able to schedule your courses in between that time and be at practice at that time. In college, most colleges have block classes. So if your class is from 4 to 6 and practice is at 6:00, you're gonna have to communicate with us to get to that trip. We're gonna get there. So what we usually do, we usually practice on Mondays. We usually practice Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. We give a day in between and the weekend off for players to do their, of course, let you be a student athlete to enjoy all the stuff that's going on in the school and also get your work done, give you some time to work done, because most times our games are either weekend or one weekday. But usually we start practice half an hour after 6. So you got till 6:30. 6 to 6:30 is our shoot around. We do little things here and there until all everyone gets to practice, and then at 6:30 we start our practice. Every college does something different. All the colleges sometimes have a chance to maneuver practice times with everyone else's game or everyone else's classroom times, but it changes throughout each college, each university, or each college. But for us, we give amounts of time so players can get from one end of the city to the other. Gina is going north because she does a lot because she's at a hospital. But most of the players are coming from St. James or Waterfront. And if you take the TDC from those two places, it's around a 15 minutes. It's around a 15-minute drive by TTC. So you're able to get to practice within that 6:30 window. But yeah, I think that answered that question. Did I answer that correctly? That good enough answer? All right, so let's move forward as we go along. So again, also from researching your schools, I would suggest you research their success rate with other jobs or employers, and of course what graduates come out of. So this is our success rate with our school. So 84% of graduates are employed within 6 months. Another 98% is employers are satisfied with George Brown graduates, and we're continuing partnering up with a lot of industry partnerships, and we're still growing as we go along. You always want to research that as well too, because you don't want to be going to a program and you put on your resume and then in the program, either say the program department or the teacher, the professor can help you navigate after you finish into a job that you want to get to at the end of the day. So when you research your program, also research the success rate of the school and your graduates, because that's going to determine if you get a job at the end of the day or not, right? And see who they're connected with as well too. All right. My next point for you guys is research your teams and what they look and to see what they look like. See what you're looking for. So what I mean by that, as you know, there's 3 leagues. So I'm gonna give you guys 5 seconds to type in a team in the OCAA, actually a team in the CC. Sorry, a team any team in the CCAA and any team in the U Sport in league. The OCAA is where we play in. So we're in the east of the OCAA. There's two divisions of East and West. We're in the east, and we're of course as of last year we're the second in the east. Not to brag, but other than that, you got 5 seconds to write as many teams as possible. I'm working on this thing. Ready, set, go. 5 seconds. Let's see who knows their teams. No one knows their teams in the OCW. No one knows any teams. At least who gave you one.
It's wow.
Oh man.
He's like,
how are you gonna recruit it? Oh, sorry. That's not my fault. That's my fault because I'm not in everybody. Oh no. Yeah, no one written down anything.
I don't see anything yet.
So you have 5 seconds, 4 seconds to write down any team in these leagues. The Huskies is one. Good job, Amalia. GBC, University of A. So is that Alberta? Yep. Seneca, Queens, good. We're starting to get there. Give me some more. Alberta, yep. Alberta, Durham Lords, UW, the GGs, yep. Ryerson Rams, there we go. We're starting to get some teams. McMaster, Carleton, yep. The Ravens, yep.
Okay.
There we go. Mohawk, UFT. All right, and time. Great job. Whew, you're starting to scare me for a second there. I'm like, how you guys not know any of these teams? You guys won't get recruited and know nobody? Like, how's that work? So yes, you should know your teams, right? If you don't know these teams, how are you going to get recruited, right? These are the links that you can go to. All these links are the women's division of basketball, which you can check on here. Let's see who knows. Coach Kareem, you can look at the thing, put her hand up. Who knows what the CCAA stands for? Which player knows what that stands for? Other than it says, yeah, it says right there. It says right there. All right, yes, the Canadian Collegiate Athletic Association. This is what all the colleges are in. And then the U Sport is, of course, the University Sports of Canada. And that's when they have a few leagues in there. I would suggest you connect with those. You look at these two links and look at the leagues that are in those two links. And those are a ton of teams in Canada that are looking for players all the time that you can tap into and talk to coaches and see their programs and see what you're getting yourself into. It's the most important thing is to research. Do your research when you're trying to connect with a team. There's so many times I've talked to players and like, oh, how'd you hear about George Brown? I don't know. You contacted me. So do you know anyone in our league? No. Have you watched us play? No. Like, how are you supposed to be recruited if you know none of us, right? It's only people that the only way you get past that, and it's going to be fair. I know it's unfair, but if you have a high talent, if you're really good, they will find you, and we will find you. We will find you where you're at. But if you're not being seen or being recruited, you need to start doing your research and knowing who teams in this league that you can play on. Okay? Moving forward. I asked Genev, how did you know about George Brown? Because when we talked, you knew about us. How did you know?
Yeah, so I wanted to find a program within Canada that had a fashion program that was like pretty like reputed, I guess, like reputable. I don't know if that's the right word, but and I wanted to play basketball because it's been something I've been passionate about all my life. So what I did is I kind of just like looked up like universities in Canada or and colleges that offered a women's basketball program and also a fashion program. And then I found George Brown through that, and I contacted Coach Omari. So
yes, so that's one player of our team that did the research, found her program, found the school that had this program, and found that she wanted to play on the team. And then when me and Genev talked, she asked her and her parents, and especially her, asked amazing questions about, the city of Toronto, how to, what the cost is, how to get there. I mean, not how to get there, but what the cost is, and also how the program could fit with her and what she's and who she is as a basketball player as well too, which comes back to my next point. But before that, I said this is our home base, Casa Loma. This is where we play our basketball. This is our gym. We got freshly, it's been now 6 or 7 years that's been renovated. Renovated. Our weight room has been renovated as well too. We used to have stands at the top right over here, but now we do not. We have this is there, and the stands are here. We don't have a name for our gym yet, but we're going to have one hopefully soon. But for now, we're at Casa Loma. It's called Casa Loma, and we won many of games here, right? And then as you're searching for your team, you also need to know what they've done, right? So I'll show you what we've done for the last 3 years. So when Genev was about to join this team, the last 3 years, this is what we accomplished. When you're researching your teams, you want to know what they've done last year, the year before that. Are you coming to a program that hasn't won a game yet, right? Or have you come to a program that is at one of the top 3 or top 5? When you choose that program, depending on what spectrum, where the part of the spectrum they're in, it's a different experience, right? when you go to a team that's, hasn't really won any games in the last 3 years or so, your experience will probably be one of those of trying to improve. You'll probably be probably get on the floor a little bit more, but depending on the expectation of the coach, what your chemistry of the teammates will be in X, Y, and Z. And if you get in one of the top 5, you're talking about teams that are elite. They want to win. They win a lot of games, and so their expectations are a lot higher. So that means there's a lot more pressure to perform and do well. Ask Kiana. Kiana, when you joined George Brown off of Durham Elite, your first year, how did you feel your first year?
I was really nervous. I was really nervous and I didn't know what I was walking into. But when I got to George Brown, it was a very welcoming environment. The teammates, my teammates were very welcoming. You were very welcoming, Coach Omari, as well as Coach Warren and Coach Ben. So it was nerve-wracking at first, but then I started to feel like I was a part of a family, because that's what George Brown is.
Correct. And hey, when any team, either top tier or below tier, they all have a culture, and the culture that you're going to be joining, you have to fit into that culture. And if that's not your culture, if that's not your bread and butter, that's how you read yourself, you might not fit in, right? For Kiana, I'll give her a little backstory for Kiana. Kiana came in as a first-year player. Her first half of the season, she was really getting under her legs. Like, I'll call it, if you want an analogy, she was a baby giraffe trying to figure out how to walk, right? She's played a high level of basketball. She played prep school. She was really elite in her class in the prep school years. But when you got to college basketball, it's a faster game, more physical game, more strategy. You have to work on. You have to know your stuff, and you got to know what you bring to the table as well too. So at the beginning, Kiana, struggled here and there as a first year, jumping on the floor, getting game time, and trying to figure out her way to score, her way to involve herself in the lineup. And then when it got to the second half of the season, she really got her swing. She got out of her groove, and she started putting major points on the board and injecting herself in the starting lineup. To the end of the season, where we went to our appearance to the Final 8, where she was chosen as rookie all-team selection. We only had 2 in the last 3 years, which is Melissa Moore and now her. And she really showed her wings as she's going at. So she's really excited to see her come back for another year to see what she can bring to the table. All right. As I say that, I want you to look on the screen right now. So look on the screen. As you see on the screen, this is our stats for our 2019-2020 season. When I said to you about you need to know what your team is looking for, this is what I'm talking about. So when you go to those websites, to the OCAA website or CCA website, you pick a team, study their statistics, what they did last season. Study what they've done, how games played, field goal percentages, anything that they have on statistics. Study it and see what they want and see what they need. As you're studying this one, I'm going to ask. Let's see, Jasmine. Look at the screen and tell me one thing that we could improve on coming into next season.
Probably your 3-point percentage.
I agree. I agree. Our 2019-2020 season, I'm surprised no teams played zone on us a lot, but no teams really did. They kept playing man-to-man, which gave into our strength. But if teams played zone on us, we struggled a lot with our 3-point percentages. We only had a 3. Actually, I'll show you another stat. I can't show you another stat right now, but we are. If you go to OCAA website and go back to our statistics that year, we were 5th in the league in attempts, or 3-point attempts, but we couldn't. Our percentage was 26.1% for the year. right? So that means we shot a lot of basketballs, but we were making them a lot, right? So luckily, you know, as and coming to my point now is this is when I go recruit for a player, I'm looking for something that's going to improve this percentage, right? So for instance, this year we went out, we got contacted by a player from Alberta, which her percentage is higher than this percentage when shooting the basketball from the 3-point line. And we got her to recruit, we recruited her, right? Because we need this percentage to get up. So we're going to, of course, get plays and stuff to make sure that this percentage goes up. So when I say research what the team needs, this is what I'm talking about. So you saw that 3-point, you know, Jasmine said 3-point percentage we need to get better at. So, okay, I'm a 3-pointer shooter. So I'm going to talk to this team about my 3-point shooting and show clips to the coach of how I can shoot the 3-point in the game. You know, my consistency of shooting the 3-point in the game. This is the research that you, if you're not being recruited right now, or if you are being recruited, to look at. Because that's just how you are going to put yourself in the game. This is how you're going to put yourself on the floor. This is how you're going to keep yourself on the floor, right? All right, so always look at the percentages. Some things we also do really well on, things we did really well was we could have fixed a little bit more was our field goal percentages, which is really good, which is 37.5. We're a top. I think we're top 10 in the league, but you know, which gave us our goal every game was to score 80 points or more in each game, and which gave us our points per game total here. But this offense, this 37.5 came with a lot of our defensive end. So we're a really defensive minded team, and I'll get to another slide to show you what I'm talking about. All right. So again, as I said to you before, our culture plays a big factor in what we're doing. I think we're over. Big factor what we're doing. So any team that's you're talking to, you got to know their culture. Talk to some of the players on their team. Ask them how the culture is. And coaches will always come back to what their culture is going to be and want to see if you fit in this culture. So as you said, remember those words you listed off? These are the words that fit in cultures like this, right? So we call this the Husky way. Amalia is going to integrate herself into this Husky way, right? When I talked to her, she fit a lot of these. She checkmarked a lot of these things our culture needs, you know, from loyalty and trust and caring, you know, treating others as they want to be treated, doing the best you can. Those are things that when I talked to her, it came off of her. It exuberated from her. And that's why we decided, it's like, okay, we like her. We know that she's going to fit our culture when she comes on the court, right? The next thing is you also have to know how they play. So we play, let's go back. So we call this the dot. Defend. Oh, actually, let's see who remembers it. Gina, since you're the older one, who remembers the dot? What does the dot stand for? Even though it's red on the screen.
Isn't it? Okay. I was just like, it's on the screen.
Yeah.
Defend, our shot, think attack.
Yeah. Defend and rebound, our shot, think attack. So when we talked in our games, we talked about these three things all the time. Are we defending and are we rebounding? Are we getting our shots? So what our offense was going through. And are we always thinking attack? So when the play breaks down, are we thinking to get to the basket, right? Those are the three things we focused on and we rated ourselves on each game. This is the only thing we talked about in each game, okay? So this is how we played each game, and this is our defensive end. We called it chaos, continually harassing opponents all season long. We have, what do we have? So last year before I became head coach, I was a defensive coordinator. So we had 5 full court presses and 2 zones, and of course our 55 and our 5, which is our full court press and our man press and our half court man. We stand by this principle, right? We wanted to make sure that we continues to harass all opponents each long. We didn't want them to be comfortable. We wanted to go at our pace. We wanted them to make mistakes. We wanted to make sure that they were never, we even attempt to see where the basketball is or attempt to see the next person in their limelight. All right. We did it such a good job that we got teams to give up in the third quarter. We just got them to give up. If you have any time, watch the game against Algonquin, January 31st. Okay, that game, Algonquin was first ranked in the league last year. They were number one. They had not lost up to that day. They beat us in their home, and they're coming to our house. In the first quarter, I believe we were down by 20. And then by the end of the game, we won by, how is it? We won by 8, or no, won by 10. And we kept one player to like 4 points. And she scored 21 the first quarter, almost 21 the first quarter. Right? So, and that was in the last quarter. You even saw in the game, you even saw her touch the ball and just throw it away because she didn't want no part of it anymore. She gave up. She's like, I'm done with this. Right? So this is our identity, and you have to know what the identity of the team is about. So what are the identity? And this is our identity the whole season long, which helped us with this. This helped this. This helped this. So if the team is looking for this, make sure you fit in that. Which comes back to my next point to you guys. And my final point. I know I talked a lot, but we're gonna go through this time. All right. What do you bring to the table? So the quote here, and you probably have heard this quote a lot: "Jack of all trades, master of none." What it should be is "Jack of all trades, master of one." Right? When you jump on the court, the other girls around you and the coach should know what you bring to the table. Right? We should know what you bring. Of course, you're gonna learn. You need to know the plays. You know how to dribble the ball. You know how to play defense. Those are things that are given. Those things that you need to know. Those are all the trades of basketball. Those are things you need to know the game. But there's always one thing that you are good at. Your superpower. What is that? Right? And when you're talking to coaches, you want to address that superpower. Right? Let's say this, Piper. What do you come to the game with? What do you bring to the table?
My defense.
Defense?
Mm-hmm.
What part of your defense?
Like I'm really fast and can stay in front of a player really well.
Good. So see that detail part you said just now? That helps me know. That knows for me that when I go my press, I'm gonna have you at the front of the press because I know that you can do that. You're really fast and you can contain your players well. So I can have you at the front of my press, and I know that when I say go trap to the side or in the coffin spots, you'll get to that spot and you'll contain that trap, right? Or you can lead that person to that trap.
Yeah.
Perfect. So when you're talking to a coach, talk within that detail, right? Because they're trying to, just like any job, this is basketball, just like a job. And I know you've probably heard this before. Your resume counts. What you put on your resume counts. You got to be detailed in your basketball resume. You got to really tell each coach what you bring to the table, right? And to master that one thing. This one thing I do very well. Gina, what do you do very well on the court? Is Gina still there? Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I'm still here. Take charges.
Right? It is totally true because Gina can get a charge anywhere on the court. Gina is going to sacrifice her body for the team. And that's one thing we know that if we get beat, we know Gina's a secondary coming over to stop that player, to throw her body and risk giving her body to the team to get that turnover so we can get the ball back. That's her superpower, right? Other than she's almost 100% on the corner, in the left side corner, short corner, but she doesn't want to say that. But hey, she can shoot the ball and she can score as well. But the one thing that she does very well is help side defense. She's a great help side defender, and she's very gritty. All right. Whoops. Let me go back. So, at the end of all of that, sorry, let's change that up. Let's go back to our screen. I know I talked a little bit, but at the end of all that, there were 3 things I want you to really focus on when you go and recruit. And if you're not being recruited right now, and I stress this to you, if you're not being recruited right now, you must do your research and you must get yourself out there. And now. So if you're 15 years old, you're doing it now. You're not waiting until 17 and hoping that, the skies and the moon align and the coach comes from, you shoot a ball and the coach comes from the tunnel and says, I need you. It doesn't happen like that, right? You must do your research. You must follow what you want and your path. All right. Second thing I'll say to you is that a lot of coaches, especially if you're coming from high school, are looking for transfer players. So they're first going to look for a transfer player. What's a transfer player? Who knows what a transfer player is? Let's see. Ava, do you know what a transfer player is?
I might be wrong, but my a transfer like can play any position.
Close. They can't play every position. I'm gonna say your name, Samantha. Did I say it right or did I say it wrong? I'll give you 5 push-ups next time I say it if I get it wrong.
It's Shamanthi.
Shamanthi. Okay. Next time I say it, if I say it wrong, I owe you 5 push-ups. Go. What's a transfer player?
It's a player that's from another college or university and they're moving.
Good. Give her. Both answers were great. Give them a round of applause. I like the circle. I like that. I like this. All right. So yes, a transfer player is from another college or university. Coaches love those players. Why? Because they're plug and play, right? So I can bring them they've played a year of college or basketball somewhere else, and I can take them to my team and plug them into the starting lineup, and they know how to play the game. They already know the information. So what does it mean for you high schoolers? That means you must practice outside of practice and learn the game outside of learning the game. So when Coach Kareem is finished practice, you're taking your time to watch game tape, going outside to practice your shot, because if you can be you can be as good as a transfer player, you can be that player that can be recruited right today, right? So coaches right now, especially this year, because of COVID and stuff, a lot of players are either deferring their year to the next year, which they're coming back for a year, or they're transferring from one college to another college to stay close. Oh, Zara's outside. It's dark. I'm sorry. I talk too much. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, they're looking for those players. So again, you got to make sure you do your homework, do your research, and look to be the player that coaches want on their team. The more information you know about that team and that school, the better off you will go on that. You better off you'll be recruited from that school, right? It's very simple. All right. That is me. That is it for me. I know I've talked over the hour. We did 15 minutes more, but I really stress to you guys is this: you have to make sure that you're at the spot you want to be in, right? It's high school is one story. College, university is a different area, right? There's a lot of things that you have to take upon yourself. Mom, dad, guardian, whoever's taking care of you, it stops. It stops to a degree. Like they're gonna let you spread your wings a little bit, but it's gonna be you. It's gonna be you in the mirror saying, do I meet deadlines? Can I get to practice on time? What am I doing with practice? Am I improving? Am I where I want to go after that? Because once the basketball stops dribbling, it's gonna be Jasmine looking in the mirror, Piper looking in the mirror, Samantha. I said it right? Yes. Looking in the mirror, right? Micah looking in the mirror. Zara looking in the mirror, all right? All you guys looking, Victoria looking in the mirror. Raya, right? Did I say it right or no? Raya? No wrong. Or am I wrong?
Me?
Yeah.
Raha.
Say your name. Raha. If I say it wrong, I owe you 5 push-ups too. Raha. All right? So you guys looking in the mirror, and at the end of the day, it's you, right? The basketball is stopping. You're gonna live your life. You're gonna be the adult in the room, and they're gonna be like saying, "Who are you, and what do you bring to the table after your college career, your university career?" And especially the last. I should say one more thing. Last thing I'll put out there for you guys to think about is if you decide to want to play basketball after college, so semi-pro or professional, right? Or anywhere overseas, always ask a coach or the coaching staff, what are your connections and how can you help me if that's the case? Because again, at the end of the day, if they don't have no connections or can't help you, you're not going to get to where you want to go. You're going to have to find another way to get it yourself. So it's important that when colleges and universities you talk to, ask that question, because that's an important question, especially if you want to go play basketball, if you want to be in the WNBA, because you can get out of George Brown College and be a first-round draft pick at WNBA. It's very simple, right? You just got to be age of 19. You're good to go, right? You don't have to be in the NCAA or in the States to do it. You can do it within Canada. And we're waiting for that one. Hopefully one person here comes from a university in Canada and gets the thing, right? Which is a lot of them have it right now. But, yeah, know their connections. For our team, we just recently picked up a coach that was a coach in France, semi-pro and professional U17 and U19 national teams, right? He has a lot of connections in France, and there's a lot of players that knows a lot of players that played in France. And say whoever wants to play, like I believe Genève talked to him about playing after she finished her school thing, and talking about going to France because she's fluent in French as well too. But going to France and stuff like that to play there. We also have international players like Carolina. She's from Mexico. She's going to be playing on our team next year, for this year coming. She's already in the school. But connections like that, you got to know. So when you join that league or you join that team, you can get to the next spot. All right? I'll give you one more person, CJ from, if you don't know who she is, go to Humber College. She played on the Canadian national team, and she's playing overseas right now. Right? So look her up. You can see she's doing amazing things over there, and that's another program that, of course, wins championships, but also gets people to go across. But we're going to beat them next year, so don't worry about it. Come to us. All right? So yeah, that is it. If you have any questions, again, Coach Green will have my contact. I'm here to help anyone. If you have any questions about college, university, also with bursaries and scholarships, I know you haven't talked about that. I know a lot of coaches have talked to you guys about that already. I'm going to ask a question. Who knows how much athletic scholarship can give? A college in Ontario, how much can they give you? Who knows? You put your hand up if you know. How it's the maximum. Genève knows. You can't say. She doesn't know that. She knows.
Wait, are we talking about just athletic, coach?
Just athletic. Just athletic.
ZK
said 1,500. You're close. Anyone else? You can write in the chat if you don't want to say it. 1,500 is close. I think one of our players got that last year. No? Okay. So I will say, let's see, Micah, give me a number. Go quickly. 5 seconds. 4, 3.
2,500.
It just says there 2,500. Give another number.
Okay. Nope. You said close. So yeah, 17. Why not?
17. Okay. Anyone else? Amalia, how much?
1,200.
Close. All right. Piper is looking like she's looking it up. You're doing Google search over there. Mom I can see your screen in your glasses, Mom. Nice try. All right. So the number that coaches can give in any college in Ontario, the maximum amount of money they can give to a player in athletic scholarship is $3,000. We can give you $3,000. University gives a little bit more. I think it's $4,500. But what happens is you can also most colleges have bursaries that you can apply for coming out of high school that you can give you money, and also most colleges have bursaries that if you can maintain a certain GPA, you can get that bursary as well too. So for athletic scholarships, if you get one, your GPA you have to have a 2.0 for a George Brown to receive your money. So that's like a C, if anything. All right. I know it's lower in the OCAA to receive your money, but we at George Brown, we want to at least get a C, a 2.0. You can do that. Our highest 3 this year on GPA was Rachel, Desiree, and Antea. They were all 3 were at 3.9s in their GPA. Our total GPA for our team was 3.0. Our total GPA for our team. So we're pretty good.
Coach,
we're pretty good there.
Sorry.
But anyways.
I wanted to go back to something you were talking about before.
Yeah.
Connections. So I got a question. Oh, okay. We have Oh, okay. Also, if you have any questions about the team, school, scholarship, getting recruited, etc. Okay. Question: is there a pathway from the OCAA to the NCAA?
Yes, there is technically a pathway. So usually, so I'll give you an example. So we had a pathway going the opposite way, so we reversed it. So we had Zay Zellers, which is our coach, coach this year, player of last year, of 2019-2020 season, her final year for us. She was playing at a junior college in the States from Minnesota, and she came from Minnesota to Toronto and played for us. Depending on the years played, so as you know, in North America, you're allowed 5 years to play the game of basketball. And in different parts of America, in NCAA, I think it's Division One. You have a certain amount of in your age bracket as well too, but you have 5 years. So Zay contacted us. When she contacted us, we contacted with her, and she can't be able to come play for the OCAA. It's the exact same thing, switched the other way around. What the OCAA and the NCAA does is that you have, of course, a resume. You have your game tapes, right? Because they game all games. You have your statistics, right? And they have anything that, of course, coach information. So whatever coach talks about you and tells you about you can help you score a team in the NCAA, right? So what we would do is if you came to our team, you did 2 years of college with us, you got your game tape, you got your statistics and all that stuff. All we had to do was just connect with the coach you wanted to, and then we talk with them. So, for instance, for this year, we don't have anyone going down to the NCAA, but yes, a letter of recognition goes a long way. Of course, thank you. Was it Genève? Yes. You still say Coco, Victoria, and thing on your name, so that's why I was like, what? Anyways. Yeah, so again, a letter of recognition, but also what we did this year was we had Victoria Lawrence. She was a second-year player. She graduated this year. She came from us last year from Algonquin College with a letter of recognition, recommendation, and with her statistics on the OCAA side, she was able to land a U sport team, Brock University. She's now going to Brock next year to play on that team. And I believe she got some scholarship money in as well too. But yeah, once you come on the team, it's up to you. I said it to these girls this year is once you're on the team, it's up to you to show your worth, right? And your worth shows in your statistics and your game tape. So if you do what you're supposed to do and practice when you're supposed to practice and get stronger and better and faster and all that stuff and do well in school, it's easy to switch you to somewhere else. You could be that transfer player going from one spot to the next.
Thanks, Coach.
No
How
problem.
about from the players, from the ladies or coaches or parents? Is there any questions from the audience? I know a couple of our players had some questions prepared. I'll call on them shortly, but is there anybody else who wants to get a question in? Yes, Ava.
I was just wondering on your recruiting process that you did through COVID and everything like that, since it's more difficult, how you went through your recruiting process.
Yes, that's a good question because right now it's really tough. One thing I'll say for all of you is when you go back to playing basketball, get yourself on film. It is very important. If it's not a game, try to do this. You got to get a full game of yourself playing in a full game, and also get clips of you playing or training, right? Because at the end of the day, I have to, not only does your culture and what you say matter, is also see where you are in your basketball, right? I've had some players I've seen and that did give me tapes or said something in their questionnaire bio, and they said to me, "Oh, last time I played was in high school in grade 10, right? And I'm now 25 years old." I'm like, okay, so can I see some tape to see where you're at, right? Or I played for my country at this time and And I'm like, okay, that's great. It's great to see on paper, but if I can see you play and see how you move, I can say, okay, perfect. Yeah, I think you do well with us. I need that. I need to see what you're doing. So with COVID this year, it's been really tough. I've been using a lot of talking to a lot of coaches, one-on-ones to see what that player is about, talking with the player as well too. And if they had game tape, if they have the game tape, we're really studying their game tape to see where they're going. I think right now, using some of the platforms like NCIS, as what's it called, as the recruiting, using some of those recruiting platforms. I don't have the. I'll get it and send it to Coach Kareem, and he'll send it to you guys. But using the recruiting platforms that can help you add in your game tape, your average, your team average, stuff like that. Coaches look at that as well too. But as of right now, it's been a challenge, but it's been getting through. I've been getting through. One thing I've been really focusing on is, other than high school players, is really the transfer players. Because with the transfer player, I know you've played, and I can watch your game on one of the websites, and I can see your statistics, as you see this right there too, right? And the last thing is try to get on, if you're in a prep school or you're a Division I in OBA or something like that, or Jewel, that helps as well too, because they do game tapes and stuff like that. So I've been watching those things. So if you haven't got a game tape right now, I would suggest go outside, get to a basketball court, start recording. Start recording your movements, the things you need to record: shooting, right? Movement, shooting, not just standing in one spot all the time, but movement, shooting. Also, scoring at the basket, different moves. How do you move the ball around your body, right? And then if I know we're in COVID right now, but we can't really play one-on-one with anybody. But if you can do some reaction stuff, like say, throwing out numbers, someone can throw out a number 1 and you do some move, and then you do another 2, you do another move, or stuff like that, and you have it on tape and you send it to a coach, that's great. And lastly, I'll say is put it on YouTube. The quicker you can throw a link to a coach, the better it is. If I have to chase down you and text, okay, can you send me the link? Can you send me this? Then it's a little tough. So put it on YouTube, upload it, and then send the link in the email so the coach can see it. It makes it a lot easier.
Let me get two. I want to get a couple more player questions in, Coach.
Okay.
That's all right. Amalia, did you have a question? I know you had a question prepared.
Yeah, I have a question. Going to a nursing program, how do you balance basketball and school if the workload is a lot?
That's a good question. So I wish Taurine was here. She would help you. I'll give you a little bit more insight on that. But for what we do with our athletes is we try to help them as much as possible. So at the beginning of the season, we have a rookie orientation. Sorry, that's for the girls to do. Orientation. So we go through all the programs, all the things that we can help with, tutoring programs that can help you with time management, stuff like that that are accessible to you as a player, right? And this is you as a player. And then as the season goes on, I always say to all the players is talk to me before it gets tough. Don't wait till last minute, because we have our athletic director. Our athletic director that can help, Melanie. She does a great job of really helping out with our athletes, helping them with their path, either lessen the load or helping them with tutoring. Or Mark, which is our coordinator, varsity coordinator, which really helps on showing you maybe, all right, we can prolong your stay. Meaning, all right, you can do 6 this semester and do 3 in the summer to catch yourself up. So you're not doing all courses at the same time, right? So to manage it, it's tough, yes, especially for an oncoming player. But the more information you give us, the more we can help you.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Amalia. All right. Any more questions before we wrap for tonight?
Thank you all for being on for so long. All right. I appreciate it.
Chelsea, did you still have a question that you could type into the chat?
Yes, Gina, thank you. To add to that part, Amalia, we have study hall. Every team has a study hall.
Thanks, Gina. All right, just waiting to see if Chelsea has anything. I think she was the only other one who had a question. Oh, here we go. Coach, did you see the question?
No. And the last one I saw was Gina's question.
Chelsea says, "Oh, okay. When you had games, how did your college support players missing class? So if you had to miss a class due to games, how were players supported?"
Yeah, Gina, you can answer that question.
So yeah, what we did was at the beginning of the semester, Mark, during the kind of player orientation, we sent out emails to all of our kind of professors and teachers, letting them know that we are on the basketball team and that there will be games that will be missing, because you know your schedule at the beginning of the season. You know all the games, so you should know what classes you're missing. So building that rapport with your teacher is really important. Because if you don't show up to class and if you don't say anything, they don't know who you are, they're not going to be happy that you're missing their class. So sending that email right away and then building that relationship with your teacher. They're usually very accommodating. They'll be like, and they are bound by the by the college to give you time. That is something that my professor very stressed. He's like, I have to give you this time. I was like, oh, thank you. But it's nice that it's really good to kind of come forward and write that message and have that communication with the professor. So, but you got to do the work. You can't just be like, hey, I'm coming in, I'm on the basketball team, I'm going to leave. It's like, no, you have to make sure you make up the time. And if there's assignments or if there's if it's a lab, schedule a new time. So being on top of your schedule and knowing when you should schedule things.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you, Gina. To add to Gina's thing is that beginning of our season for the rookies, we also have them in the computer room, and we have a template for them to write to each teacher before the season starts. So so all your professors know that you're part of the basketball team, that you're going to be missing a certain amount of classes, and also before game time. So if we have a game, say at 6 o'clock and it's in Hamilton or it's in Oshawa, you're going to take at least an hour or hour and a half to get there. We'll have a letter of exemption. So you sign, give it to your teacher, they sign it, and they say, hey.
Yeah, it becomes me where it comes out on.
All right. So they give you a letter to your teacher, and the teacher goes, okay, signs it off, so they know that you're gone for that moment of time. But again, it takes, as Gina says, report. You got to talk to your teachers. You can't just just assume that they know you're on the basketball team. It takes a lot of your doing. That's why I said to you, it's stressed to you that it's you in the mirror. It's you that's doing the work, not mom. Mom can't go over there and save you this time. It's no high school. This is college, university. They can't help you, right? So make sure you do the work.
Thanks, Gina. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I think it's 9:35. So I think we're gonna wrap quick tonight. I would love to
appreciate you guys.
No, appreciate you, Coach.
Hey, being on Zoom is tough. I know. It's been here for 14 months now. It's tough.
Yeah. No, I could ask you a million questions, to be honest, but obviously we don't want to keep everybody too late. I know our players, again, talking about balancing schoolwork and basketball. Most of the players on this call play for me, so I know what you guys have been doing, which is preparing for the type of things that Coach Omari and all the other coaches that we've talked to throughout the course of this time. You guys are all preparing for that. And what I really hope you're doing on top of that is taking this information, writing things down that Coach Omari and others have been telling you. Again, this concludes our series of playing post-secondary basketball. We got a lot of knowledge and a lot of insight. Glad to kind of top it off with Coach Omari, because I think, Coach, you brought it all together for us. And I think based on what, just the kind of things that you talked about, I feel inspired that everybody on this call, I mean, we have a lot of people on this call are already playing post-secondary basketball. We have a couple players on this call recruited to play post-secondary basketball next season. We just found out about one. We'll have a more formal announcement later on.
I got you, Omari. Don't worry. We got the whole thing done.
And I think everybody else has great potential to do so. And I think with the resources that we have a resource right here in the GTA who's one of the best, perhaps in the country, and is right here in your backyard. So I'm going to make sure Yeah,
Got the country.
just take it. Trust me.
No, I'll take it. I'll take it.
No, with all sincerity.
Thank you.
And what's key is that very accessible. So after this call, we'll make sure that we send out the contact information for Coach Omari of the George Brown Women's Huskies. You can get in touch, ask further questions, yeah, go for it.
I have one last thing for you guys. All right, so if you go to any school website, they have a questionnaire. Fill it out now. All right, go and fill them out now. Put your information out there. Put all your stuff where you want. Your basketball, where you coach at, number X, Y, and Z. There's questionnaires all on each website. Fill it out so all the coaches right now are looking at those questionnaires. They come directly to the head coach, and the head coach sees it, and we can contact you. Right? So don't always look for that first. Fill it out, and then go throughout your process through that stuff. Forgot about that part.
Good. Coach, that's awesome. Thanks for throwing that in because, again, U19 Lady Blues may have heard that now for like the 11th time.
Oh, there you go.
But every time you hear it, it makes it more true, right? So thank you, Coach, for leaving us with that. And thank you again for today's chat, Coach. And we'll definitely be seeing you more. Definitely in the summer. We see each other every summer, as well throughout. And I want to thank everybody who attended the session. I'm going to ask the U19 Lady Blues just to hang on for 2 minutes. We're going to have a quick 2-minute powwow. I'm going to thank all the George Brown Women's Basketball Huskies for joining the call. Thank you, Gina. Thank you, Kiana. Thank you, Jeanette. Oh, is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I like it.
All right.
I might have to adopt this.
For your great insights. Thank you, everybody who's not a U19 Lady Blue for joining the call. Good on you. And I know that you guys are U15. And I heard Coach say more than once that it's from U15 that you start looking at these things. So I'm glad you guys joined this call. I hope you guys really got something out of it. And I see Coach Mervin out there somewhere. So thank you to Coach Mervin for always representing. All right. Coach and everybody, thank you so much. U19 Lady Blues, I'm going to ask you guys to hang on and tell everybody to have a good night. I'll see everybody soon enough.
Have a good night.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Be in
Coach.
touch.
You're welcome.
Bye.
You want me to jump off too, Coach? I'm jumping off.
You can hang on.
I can hang on.
Just announcements, but no, it's just general announcements.
Yeah, you do your thing. All right.
I'll
Make
talk
sure
to you later, Coach. Yeah, I'll talk to
make sure U19 and Molly especially as well too. I know you're injured, but you got to make sure you be practicing outside of practice. Don't wait for Coach Kareem. Do something. If I see you lugging down that court, I will say that. All right, I'm out of here. Bye.
All right, Coach. Thank you again.